Hello there, Stevos. Welcome along to this episode of Steve's Movie Wrap Up. So, without further ado, let's see what movies I've watched and reviewed this past week. You're watching Steve's Movie Wrap Up, episode 89, right here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. The first movie you'll be reviewing in this episode is Hannah Montana, the 20th Anniversary Special. So, we are starting off this week with Hannah Montana, the 20th Anniversary Special, which was streaming on Disney+. Can I just say that even though this isn't a movie, this is more of a documentary special, but I still logged it, reviewed it. So I'm going to go through my thoughts on this Anniversary Special right now. Obviously, I gave it 4 stars over on Letterboxd. So I wouldn't say I was the biggest Hannah Montana fan growing up. However, there are some episodes from season 3 and season 4 that I remember watching and enjoying growing up. I will be honest, probably my favourite character from this series was Jackson, because he was so goofy and so funny. And hey, given the fact that Jason Ells, who played the character of Jackson in the show at the time, before the show started filming, the pilot and the series, he lied about his age, claiming he was 18 when in actual fact he was 28 and married at the time. Producers didn't find this out until halfway through shooting the first season, but even now when I look back at season 1 of the show, there is a part of me that can safely say he did look younger than 20, so even if I casted him, he would have fooled me for sure. But it has been 20 years. 2026 marks 20 years since 2006, which does make me feel old, but it also makes me feel even more old knowing that there is a 20th anniversary special for Hannah Montana. As mentioned, this show I wasn't the biggest fan of. It was some sort of a guilty pleasure, although my sister in her younger days loved this show and was obsessed with this show. I think she even had some Hannah Montana merch and CDs back in the day, if I remember rightly. But so for someone who wasn't the biggest fan of the show, it begs the question, why did I watch this? Well, I am a fan of behind the scenes gossip, and we do get a lot of that here with this show, which is great. We learn that Miley Cyrus dated another Disney Channel co-star during her Disney days, and the person she dates may surprise you if you give the documentary a watch, because it was, for me, the least person I expected her to say. Miley Cyrus, who plays Miley/Hannah Montana in the show, also admitted that the anniversary special wouldn't have happened had she not started the rumours when reporters from Variety and E asked if there was any plans for a 20th anniversary for Hannah Montana. She was the one that started the rumours, and then I guess it was down to herself and Disney to come up with something for the fans to watch during the 20th anniversary. There is also some behind the scenes gossip on the feature-length film Hannah Montana the movie as well that fans will enjoy watching. Miley/Hannah performs This Is the Life, Best of Both Worlds and The Climb in front of a studio audience, and also we see Miley revisit the Hannah Montana set as well, which was in use for the first 3 seasons of the show. Before Miley and her family moved house in season 4, which served as the final season for this show. The documentary does come with a running time of just 1 hour, and if you grew up with this show 20 years ago, or even now 20 years later, you are discovering this show for the first time on Disney+, and I would say if you are a fan of this show, check out the documentary which celebrates 20 years of Hannah Montana. But Hannah Montana 20th Anniversary Special is streaming now on Disney Plus worldwide. Ready or not to, here I come. So, next up is Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, which I gave 3 stars over on Letterboxd. In 2019, we was greeted with a film by Radio Silence, which was titled Ready or Not. I have seen this film a fair few times. As a matter of fact, I last watched this movie just last week, ready to watch the sequel. Now, in my honest opinion, did Ready or Not need a sequel? I don't think it did, if I am honest, but after Radio Silence left Scream 7, after doing Scream 5 and Scream 6, I guess they needed to do a new project after coming away from that franchise, so they revisited Ready or Not. The first film was released 7 years ago in 2019, and now 7 years later in 2026 we got the sequel, which immediately picks up where the first film ended. I feel as though this film should have come out in 2020 rather than 2026, but with the writer's strike going on and also the COVID pandemic happening as well, I guess this movie was put on the back burner for now, and Radio Silence decided to revisit this when the time was right. Samara Weaving returns as the lead called Grace, and she is joined by on-screen sister Faith, who is played by Catherine Newton. David Cronenberg, Elijah Wood and Sarah Michelle Gellar all star in this film, as well as the game carries on from the first film, where Grace and her sister Faith have a rematch of hide and seek, which is the game that Grace played in the first film, for those who need reminding what went down in the first film. For Grace, at the start of the film, she thought that her nightmare was over, but it wasn't, because it was far from over. So, as she had to carry on playing the game hide and seek until dawn, whoever kills her wins the game and will get the seat in the High Council. Although there is a twist, which I won't give away in this review, that could secure Grace's life, where she won't have to die. So if you want to find out what that twist is, then feel free to watch this movie for yourself. As a standalone film, Ready or Not worked. With the sequel, though, it does have a little bit of charm, and the horror comedy is still there. I did chuckle at a few pieces of dialogue within this film, but for me, though, I did feel as though a sequel to this film wasn't necessary. However, is this film a rewatchable film? I don't think there has been a film made by Radio Silence that isn't rewatchable, so I would say that I would rewatch this one again for sure, probably when it does arrive on Disney Plus later this year and around the world. Do I recommend watching this film? If you have seen the first one and are intrigued to see where the story goes next, then I would say give this film a watch. If you haven't already, if you are into horror comedy films, then you will likely have a blast with this film. And if you do like gore in your horror films, then you will appreciate this one, because there is plenty of that in this film. And also, Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton had a great on-screen sister dynamic with a slight troubling past, which does get explored throughout the running time of the film. Also, if you have watched any film by Radio Silence in the past, then I have a feeling that you will enjoy this one as well. But Ready or Not 2, Here I Come is currently showing now in cinemas and theatres worldwide. They Will Kill You. Next up is They Will Kill You, which I gave 4.5 stars over on Letterboxd. So Samara Weaving, Elijah Wood, Catherine Newton and Sarah Michelle Gellar star in Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Oh, wait. Sorry, that is a movie I have already watched and reviewed. It's just this next movie I'm about to review is slightly similar to Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Zazie Beetz stars as Asia Reeves in the new movie They Will Kill You. So what did I think of this movie? this is a near 5-star rated film. Why? Because this was fun, enjoyable, and man, I wish the running time was a lot longer than 1 hour 34 minutes, because I would have loved to see a lot more action than we did in this film. And believe me, when you see this film for yourselves, if you haven't already, there is plenty of action in this film. I am classing this film as a action horror comedy in terms of genre, because there is a lot of fight sequences in here which, in my honest opinion, were well executed on screen and well choreographed as well. If you are a fan of blood/gore in your horror films, then you will appreciate this one, because there is plenty of that in this film as well. Just like with Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, this story is about two sisters who have a troubled past and a broken relationship, and just like Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, that does get explored throughout the running time as well. I hate the fact that I am comparing this film to Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, but after seeing that film and then watching this film, you just can't help compare the two, given the fact they both released around the same time, and given the fact that they have the same sort of premise under the same kind of genre in terms of film. Just like in Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, the film does involve satanic demons, and again, that gets explored in this film throughout the running time as well. But I will say, though, that some of the dialogue in this, that Zaza Beetz character Asia gets in the running time, is rather funny and badass at the same time. There is a lot of moments in this film that did make me chuckle, which made me enjoy this film even more, which I won't dive into in this movie review because of spoilers. But I had a really great time with this film. Do I recommend watching this? I do totally highly recommend seeing this film at the cinema or theatre right now. And will I be getting this movie to buy and keep on digital later this year? For sure I will be, and of course I will definitely check this film out again in the future. But They Will Kill You is now currently showing in cinemas and theatres worldwide. How to Make a Killing. And the final film that I have seen this week is How to Make a Killing, which I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. I have finally got myself down to the cinema to watch How to Make a Killing after it came out here in the UK a few weeks ago. So what did I think of How to Make a Killing? I thought this was a somewhat decent movie to watch. Glenn Powell stars as Beckett Redfellow and tells the story of how he plans to get the family empire all the money, all the assets, including the yacht as well. But in order to do that, though, he has to kill relatives within his family first, as they are first in line to get there before he does, which means that if he didn't go through with this horrifying plan, then he would never get to the top. Now, Margaret Qualley also stars in this film as well, and she plays the character of Julie Steinway, a girl that Beckett grew up with, a girl who was Beckett's first kiss, and now as an adult they reunite. He finds out that she is married, and I believe that the two of them still have feelings for each other. Those feelings never went away from when they went to school with each other. There is a few twists and turns in this story which I won't dive into in this movie review. In case you are planning to see this movie for yourself, is How to Make a Killing a film that I would rewatch again? I would class this as a crime/thriller film, and I did find it a decent film and one that I would rewatch again for sure. Would I buy this to keep on digital when it gets released later this year on digital platforms? Yeah, I can see me keeping this movie on digital later this year. And do I recommend watching this film? Well, if you are into crime or thriller films, then I would say give this a watch. If you you have enjoyed watching projects that featured Glenn Powell or Margaret Qualley in the past, then I would say check this one out as well. But How to Make a Killing is currently showing in cinemas and theatres worldwide. And that is it for this week's episode of the movie wrap up. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what films you've watched this past week, whether it's old, new, on DVD, Blu-ray, in cinemas, on VHS, or even in 4K Ultra. Feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. As always, love to hear your comments and your thoughts in the comment section. And as always, if you are new around here and you like what you see, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below to become a Stevo as well. So I will be back on Easter Sunday, which is the 5th of April 2026, with your next episode of the movie wrap up. But until then though, it's goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys again in my next YouTube video.